Hi, you guys. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We're almost to 30,000. So I can't believe that last week during my recap, I was like, the Palisades are on fire. And we fast forward a whole week, and now there's 24 people dead, another 20, I think 2 missing. It's come out that Los Angeles wasn't prepared at all from a fire department perspective for these fires in a memo that was written by the fire chief to the commission. It's just so disheartening. My best friend is going to be living with me probably for a month from Malibu. I've been just trying to be supportive to my friends in whatever way I can. I honestly have been just doing that all week with them, talking to people and just saying I'm here if you need me, and I've got resources if you want them. You know, I have a lot of friends and family in LA, and so I've been focused on that. People keep saying, did anyone lose their house? And no, but my friends all were in burnt out areas. And so they have no water, they have no cell service, they don't have electricity. The land that their house is on is toxic. The cars around them are burnt. The buildings next door in their neighbors' houses are burnt. And so the air is full of asbestos and lead and silica and other toxins that come out of fire. If you don't know what I mean, go burn a hot dog on the stove and turn your Dyson filter on and see what happens to the particle count. It goes into very dangerous. So all the air in LA is like that. I heard the only respite was the Beverly Hills Hotel because they're taking pets, they're keeping it beautiful, and it's really hard to even tell there's fires from looking outside over there in that area because it hasn't been impacted. Although if you go outside, obviously you're gonna smell the smoke, but it's just so depressing. So the fires have impacted some of the cast from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm sure Mauricio Umansky's real estate business definitely got impacted negatively because of the fires. He also would have been able to see them from his new apartment that he just got. He's launched a new art business in conjunction with the agency. Bose St. John lost her Malibu home, and so did Paris Hilton. These were not their primary residences, but still devastating all the same. The other housewives don't seem to have lost anything, but of course they're going to be completely depressed seeing all these very important communities in LA, especially, kind of to do with the show even, bite the dust, really. Ugh. I mean, this is a 5 to 10 year rebuild period. Nobody gets it. It's that bad. People lost everything. And so anyway, I guess my way of trying to give back is I'm doing a show on Sunday. The Patreons are sponsoring it. And I'm going to tell you all the ways that the insurance companies screw people in disaster situations, and also how to navigate FEMA that you'll have a successful claim. So I spent some time, since I've already spilled a lot of tea on this season that's coming out now, but we already knew it. I thought I would focus on a few different types of things before we get into the recap. So first, I wanted to tell you guys that Kyle Richards, when she leaves the scene that's coming up that we know is, erupting, where, she has to admit to everybody she's been talking more deeply to PK than she let on, and she's been sort of trying to cover it up. Well, in that scene, when she takes off, it turns out that Kyle Richards actually took a real break from production. Not a super long one. It might have been a week. But she literally said to production, I can't shoot right now. Like, this is too toxic. Kyle said this to The Hollywood Reporter about leaving the show for a week or two. I just didn't have it in me anymore. I was at the point where I was so depressed, frankly. She tells The Hollywood Reporter of an episode still to come, which is teased at the end of Tuesday's night episode. I'm not someone who gets depressed. I've had anxiety my entire life, but never depression. I really felt like I was struggling with depression, and I expressed that. And I just felt like I could not go into scenarios all the time and just have everyone coming at me. Now, I want to mention, she's talking about the PK text thing, By the way, Kyle hasn't been watching the show. She's just been watching little snippets of it, and that's it. Richard says when this happened 7 months ago, she stepped away for about a week during production. The Evolution Media produce a series, spends 1 week filming each episode. Yeah, but you don't feel like that when you're in it. That's not how it's presented to you, just so you know. The break also came after serious reflection on her part as she came this close to not returning for season 14. What pushed her to remain on the hit Bravo franchise was her desire to keep busy amid a newly quiet home. I mean, the Beverly Hills actress, producer, and mother of 4 daughters, whose youngest is 16, was living her life for the first time without Umansky by her side. This is what Kyle says about next week's show. I regretted how I handled it, but not leaving. I just didn't have it in me anymore. I was at a point where I was so depressed, frankly. I'm not someone who gets depressed. I've had anxiety my entire life, but never depression. And I really felt like I was struggling with depression. I expressed that, and I just felt like I could not go into scenarios all the time and just have everyone coming at me. I thought, maybe today will be different, as naive as that sounds. People I thought were my friends, all of a sudden it felt like they weren't. I just felt like it was too much with what was going on in my life, and I thought, why would I subject myself to this? Did you actually take a minute and step back? I did. I said, I just can't do this. I can't film right now. And production respected that. They know that I've never done that. Yes, she has. In all these years, I've never called in sick or not shown up for anything ever. I've never canceled a shoot. So they said, take this time. I think you need it, and we'll reconvene when you're feeling better. I definitely felt supported by the network and production. I bet she did. So I took that time until I felt strong again and gathered my thoughts as what I wanted to do. When it comes to bringing on a friend of the housewife, how does that process work? Do you each get to nominate people? And Kyle said they will come to us and say, we're going to add somebody, or we're changing someone out. Who can you recommend? And by the way, nobody recommends anyone because they don't want to ruin friendships. If I'm going to recommend someone, I know they would be a little removed from my life. It's very hard to navigate your relationships in reality TV, to say the very, very least. Now, she's working on a project with Reese Witherspoon, and so she's still doing that project, and she's officially 2.5 years sober as of January 15th of 2.5 years ago. So there you go. Also, did you notice that Robbie Williams was on Watch What Happens Live? Well, Robbie Williams' wife was casting for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then they decided not to do it. But he seems to be maybe considering it again from Watch What Happens Live the other night. Just saying. I did a video about it a while ago. It looks like this, you guys, in my YouTube Real Housewives of Beverly Hills playlist. And for Patreons, I put it in the chat, the link, so you could just quickly get to it. Okay. I told you guys, it came out tonight, that Kyle Richards was retaliating against Dorit Kemsley for the touchy-feely thing. And I told you Kyle wasn't going to let that go. And she admitted it on the show tonight, which they hadn't leaked. So I'm just saying, I know her so well. She's very predictable. PK did get pissed that Kyle kind of went there on the show and that she wasn't allowed to talk to PK anymore. So that's something that kind of happened, and I'd say he's not very happy with Dorit at all at this point. There's some stuff. So infidelity is a theme on tonight's show. Garcelle's husband cheated on her. Sutton's husband didn't cheat on her allegedly, but I think he probably did. And Kyle Richards' husband, Mauricio Umansky, it's alleged that, the rumors might be true that he's been gallivanting around Beverly Hills with, different women or whatever, and there might have been infidelity there because women were DMing with him, and Kyle didn't like that, and she sort of admitted it, and then she backtracked off it, but yeah, there it is, right?
And Kyle looked like she was a deer in headlights. I can't believe you went there.
Let's not forget that part.
What part?
Infidelity. Who didn't? You did. I didn't. With Mo?
If I could hit the eject button and get back to my house, I would have.
Sometimes things slip out of my mouth, and
Oh, God.
I did ask.
You did.
I did.
Someone had to.
Later she said to me, I don't know why I said that. I got so confused. Do I believe that was an actual accident? Absolutely not.
How'd that make you feel? Be honest.
I really thought, wow.
Yeah.
I thought that we were good friends and that we'd fix things, and now I'm not feeling like I really trust you at all. She already apologized to me profusely over the comments last year about the ring that I had bought myself. Is there something going on in your personal life that you would like to share?
With what, though? What's with the new band?
You haven't been wearing your wedding ring. It's in the bank. A big diamond. Well, all of these things kind of add up. And she actually apologized to Mo
Why
and
is she
Alexia
apologizing?
in New York City when she bumped into
It was
them.
all true.
And now she does it again.
Why?
I'm like, we're friends.
No,
Why
but
are you
you're
doing
on a
that?
reality show, Kyle.
I think it's a one-way friendship.
You have
She
to
put
show
herself
your
in that moment and like, okay,
So
I won't
confusing.
be sharing or trusting you like I thought that I could. And obviously a wall goes up for me.
Trusting
With
you
that
to
said,
keep my
will I be
secrets
nice
off
with
a
her and we get
reality
along?
show that I
Yes,
paid $1
but
million
I still
to
think
be
about
on?
it.
Well, I
Please.
remember.
No, Kyle brings up an influencer who wasn't telling the truth about Mauricio Umansky and Dorit being touchy-feely and flirty on the show. And she brings it up to Boz and shows pictures of like the touchy-feely thing, but they don't show any influencer thing. And she doesn't bring up the essay that Dorit Kemsley wrote to me. Remember this, Jem? I posted that poster, which a fan made, and said, the fans can't stop talking about this. Thoughts? Okay, that's all I posted. Nothing from what's in the Patreon. Okay? And Dorit responded with this response. What a nerve I hit. Is something wrong with you, woman? Because, okay, let me just say this before I continue. I struck a nerve because her relationship was already falling apart. And the fact that I called out that, she obviously was flirting on camera and the fans picked up on it scared the crap out of her because her relationship was so effed already with PK. And Kyle and her's relationship already was crap, which I was saying that whole season because I knew Kyle was never her real friend. And, the only real friends in that relationship were Mauricio and PK. And so, this was like the truth, finally. That's what it was. Someone shined a light on multiple truths that neither Dorit nor Kyle nor Mauricio or PK wanted out. Okay? So anyway, especially since I also was the first to say that Erica was getting divorced before it happened. And so she was probably like, uh-oh, who's leaking information? But she doesn't know that I know some of PK's friends. But anyway, is something wrong with you, woman? Or are you just so miserable in your life you have nothing better to do? You've definitely one of the thirstiest people I've ever seen. No, it's my job. I guess it's just as simple as that. Kyle and Mao are our friends. Oh, not too much anymore. And my kids call them uncle and auntie. I don't see that kind of relationship playing out on camera this season. See how bullshit all this is? She's so outraged. What nonsense. Do you think this is okay for my kids to see when it's just a disgusting lie? First of all, you're living in the same home with your kids and you're lying about your divorce or possible divorce with your husband in your relationship. All I did was put a poster up that a fan made. So what's the disgusting lie? I mean, see, it's like I doth protest too much. And remember, on tonight's show, she says Kyle Richards fought so hard back to her, she thought she might be hiding something. And she was. Well, Dorit's doing the same thing here. So she obviously behaved similarly, and that's where she got that from. Do you think this is okay? Yeah, we said that. If this is the only way you can make a buck, then so be it, but at least have some decency and stop trying to peddle false narratives. Zero truth, she says, behind it. And your whole motive is just to hurt people for no reason. It's sad, it's pathetic, and I don't know, blah, blah, ass, and inevitably, whatever it was. Anyway, the bottom line was, I had said that Dorit and PK's relationship wasn't solid because of his infidelity. That turned out to be, I think, true. I think Dorit probably doesn't want to come out with that yet, but she's probably dancing around it pretty soon. Mauricio and Kyle's breakdown in their relationship, I called that. I didn't say that Mauricio cheated, but I did demonstrate all the different gossip surrounding Mauricio cheating. And Kyle then admitted it on several shows that he was cheating in DMs and things like that with women. So, I mean, and then she drops the reunion thing about the trust. So, I mean, come on, ladies. Let's cut the crap. Shall we? Why don't we start being real on reality TV and transparent? Wouldn't that be something? It's just amazing to me that Bravo doesn't have the balls to see what the fans' reaction would be that I was the influencer she's referring to in tonight's show. Did you know 25,000? It's like they don't want to let something organic that would definitely bring everybody alive in a way happen, even though it's true. Geez, you think they'd have bigger balls with all those gay men in there. So Craig Turner is the supervising and executive producer of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for, I guess, 16 years or some crazy amount, like whatever the amount of time was in the beginning. And he's her producer. So it kind of gives you an idea of like Kyle does get special treatment. And so it will weigh heavy on her castmates at times, which I think happened with Dorit. You know, just saying. All right, so let's get into the recap. So tonight, what's happening is a lot of conversations, and it really centers around two things. One is the infidelity, which we've already gone over. The other is whether or not Kyle was a good friend to Dorit and the fact that she kept communicating with PK even though Dorit and him separated, and was her communication with him appropriate, and did she downplay it or not? And you know, some of the women felt that she shouldn't have talked to PK without Dorit, and some of the women felt like she should have just ceased talking to him altogether. And so that was pretty much the argument of like, how do you feel about Kyle doing that? Now, Kyle over the show sort of realizes that she downplayed it and she's going to get caught. So she kind of like mitigates as she goes. And essentially at some point she reaches out to PK, as I mentioned earlier, and says like, I can't talk to you anymore because Dorit won't allow it. And I've got to respect her wishes because I'm a girl's girl kind of thing. And PK's mad and blah, blah. Okay, why is he mad? Because he networks with Kyle. Okay, but anyway, we move on. So that's like a big theme on this whole thing. And then there's this like kind of redemption tour we're going on with Erica Jane Girardi. Some of Erica's friends take her to Chuck E. Cheese for a night to do a pizza party, and they have fun. I mean, to me, that was kind of a shady gesture because of the fact that it was so lame. And I just was so confused by that scene. And then Erica, we see her like starting to redesign her house so that she can like feel like a little bit of a celebrity again. She's going to be performing with Kesha in June with Kyle. I do think Kesha and Kyle's relationship really formed mostly around Morgan Wade, but she can't really say that anymore because Morgan doesn't want to be mentioned on the show. And I think Kesha was also helpful in Kyle's sobriety. Just saying. We also find out that Zeke, Bose's boyfriend, wants to have children, and she's in her late 40s and doesn't know if she can have kids for him, but she would like to try. And she thinks it's really important because it could be a thing that would break up their relationship, and she really likes him. She also has a big surgery. She has a grapefruit-sized fibroid in her stomach, and it's sticking out, and she's got to get it taken out for health reasons, so she's recovering from all of that. Then there's this other added dynamic of some of the women trying to turn Bose against Dorit because of their issues with Dorit, Garcelle mainly. And it doesn't work, but it's really strange. I didn't like that part because it was kind of Mean Girl. You know, it was like, gee, you know, someone likes somebody. Why would you try to ruin the friendship? That's kind of dark. So I thought that wasn't a great moment for Garcelle. But Garcelle said mainly that she doesn't like that Dorit talks too much. She didn't even have her, deeper meanings that she doesn't like Dorit. Those aren't her deep meanings. Those are BS ones. So I don't know. That kind of missed it for me. But you guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that's right to when someone's not there to try to turn people against them? Kyle also tried to turn Bose against Dorit. Yeah. Great friends. Wow. Well, these women are a big kicker. Remember what I said in season 3. It still stands, okay? In the train wreck scene. Okay. Just saying. They're all bitches. None of them are your friends. Okay, one last thing before I go. You guys know I'm doing HIIT training on Peloton. It's not a promo. I'm not getting paid. I just am on it. And I'm doing the tread. And my name is Princess Wilk. If you guys want to work out with me, we'll motivate each other. All right, big kiss. We'll talk soon.